Right. Hey, everybody. This is Ashley Bowers. I'm going to go over staying organized while operating a business. These are all the tips and tricks that I've used in the last year to help keep me organized. So I thought I would share them with you on this training on May 23rd at 5 p.m. Central Time. Okay, let's get started. All right, here we go. These this is a list of all the things that I've used. First is Google Docs and Google Forms. I use them frequently. Um, and it also helps my Google listing to stay to the top of the page. Bittrex I use for the sales funnel. It helps me to know where I'm at in the sales process with each and every client. Sendinblue, that is like a email marketing kind of thing, I believe. And then Square I use for payments, invoices, but I also use it for, there's an online store free that you can use. And then I do all my proposals, like all my taking notes and research and books. And then I keep my clients, confirmations, booking confirmations, and then the credit card authorization forms. I keep all of that in binders. Okay, let's go through these one by one. Okay, first and foremost, Google Forms. You can use them to make interest forms or feedback forms. I use it for both. If I have a client that contacts me and they are looking to go on vacation, they want a quote, I will send them the questionnaire or I will ask them the questions and fill it out for them. And that is how I keep track of what my clients are requesting. And after I'm also done with the client, and they went on their trip and they're, back home and settled in, I send them a feedback form. Where are the areas where I can improve? Where are the areas where you thought that I could have done better? Where were the areas that I did cover greatly? The more that you use Google, the better it is for your listing at Google. Okay. So I try to use Google as much as possible. I use Google Docs to actually make my proposals for my clients. I was using just like Microsoft Word or something. But then I was told that if I use Google Docs, that it would help with my business listing. So I switched over from using Microsoft Word then to using Google Docs. And also in Google Docs, Google Forms as well. Google will automatically save your worksheet or form or whatever you're filling out every couple of seconds. So in the event of like a power outage or your computer shuts down or something to that nature, Google will save it automatically. And then it's easy to access anywhere. You can just log into your email on a like a library computer if you had to, and you could print out your proposal if you needed to do that. Okay. All right, next. Next is Bittrex. Okay, Bittrex is what I use to show my sales funnel. You can use Bittrex for a lot of other things as well, but this is what I currently am using it for. So it will tell you point by point where you are at in the sales process. The way I have it broken down is I put my new clients in the first column, and then clients that I've done a proposal for in the second column. clients who have booked with me and they're making payment plans in the third column. Clients who have booked with me and they've paid for their trip, but they haven't traveled yet in the fourth column. And then in the last column, I do clients who have booked their trip and went on the vacation and they're back home. Okay, so I do this way I can keep track of where I'm at in the sales process. Okay, so if I have somebody that I did a proposal for 2 weeks ago, I can reach out to them and be like, hey, you know, so and so, I did a proposal for you a few weeks ago. I didn't know if you were still interested in possibly traveling. Let me know. Okay, if you have somebody that is booked and doing a payment plan, you could reach out to them and tell them, you know, it would really be great if we could have this paid off, you know, by whatever date, you know, a month before their travel date. Okay, and then over here you can, you know, send messages to these people on saying like offering a list of places where they could eat if they wanted to, offering them excursions if they wanted to. This is where I tend to try to upsell my clients. So they've got their trip booked, they're making the, or their payment plans are done for their main trip booking. So now I would do like the add-on stuff. So if you're going on a cruise, you could do the drink package, you could do the flight package, you could do excursions or anything of that sort. I would do in this process, right, or in this level right here. And then in this level, I send everybody my feedback form. Okay. You can use this on here. You can take notes for each client as well. So you can take note on where they went for vacation or where they're going to go for vacation, who's going, and what type of, is it a special occasion? Is it a honeymoon? Is it a birthday? You know, whatever the case may be. And you can add that into their notes. That way, when you go back and contact them at a later date and you say, hey, Sherry, you know, I know you're going on a trip in June. I really hope you have everything packed and you're ready to go. Is there anything I can do for you? Would you like a list of excursions that would be available? You know, anything of that sort. Okay. First off, they're going to be excited that you know their name. Okay. Second off, they're going to be excited that you remember where their trip is going. All right. A lot of travel agents, they just look at people as a number and go on to the next one. For me, I try to make each and every one of my clients feel special. I try to build a relationship with each and every one of them. And I really suggest you do that because it does help you in the long run. It might take a little bit more time and effort to actually build a relationship, but it will pay off for you. I can guarantee you that. Okay. Also, there's other resources and bit tricks that can be used, like email marketing, calendars, documents, online documents, work groups. But I don't use any of that. I just use the sales funnel. But you can feel free to get on here and check it all out. It's all free. So, although some of this may be a paid version, you may have to upgrade. I don't know because I don't use it. So you could find that one out for yourself. All right, moving on. Okay, Prevo, previously Sendinblue, is used for email marketing. I actually haven't used it in a while. I didn't know that they were changing names, but okay, nonetheless, you can send out email campaigns monthly, weekly, every 2 weeks. I wouldn't recommend sending them daily because then you are going to be spamming people's emails. and they're more likely to not read your emails. Just unsubscribe. I've sent, what is it, like 5 maybe? Yes, 5. And I've only had one person unsubscribe for me. Okay, so I tend to try to send them maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month. It just depends on the time of year and if there's anything, if there's any sort of like deals going on, I'll include those in the marketing email. If there's any sort of like holiday coming up, I, wish them well, have a great holiday, so on and so forth. Okay. And then you can just add in your clients' emails and their phone numbers, and you can choose to email them and which ones that you want to email. So I have it actually separated. So I have some that are clients, and then I have some that are potential recruits. Okay. So I have them separated in 2 different groups. So you can send messages to both if you wanted to. All right. Next, I use Square. Like I said before, I do use this for my payments and invoices. Let's say you have a client who does not want to share their contact information with you. You can go log into Square. First off, you would need a Square debit card. You can order one, it's free, it's right off the website. Then you would log into your Square account and send an invoice to your client for the amount of their travel. You could even add in some charge for your services if you wanted to. You could add in tax if you wanted to. There is also a like a code that they can scan if they wanted to pay that way. But anyhow, you can just send them an invoice. All you need is their name and email. And then as you can see down here in this bottom little picture, this is what the page of an invoice looks like. So up here, you're going to have the name, and up here you will have the email as well, the invoice title. So what do you want to show up at the top of the invoice? I normally do the like the title of the trip they're doing. So if I have somebody doing a Carnival cruise to Alaska, I would put Carnival cruise to Alaska. Okay. In the subject line, you could do Sherry's final payment, Sherry's first payment, Jen's initial payment, whatever you needed to do. Okay. And then in the message, you could leave a little note in there if you wanted to. And the date, service date, you could put it as the day you're sending the invoice, or you can leave it blank. Is it a one-time thing or is it monthly? And then the due date. Okay, so you can change this to today. You can do tomorrow. You can do 6 months from now. You can do 9 months from now. You can do a year from now. Okay, so within, if I do it and I'm like booking right now, I tell them that it needs to be paid right now. Otherwise, I'm not making the booking until I get the money on my card. Okay. And they will also, you can set it up to where they will get a confirmation once the payment is made as well. All right. And then also in Square, you can, as you can see, well, this is my online store. So I have crafts and stuff that I am selling. And I have decided to, instead of going to all these vendor shows that are just so packed with the same people that have the same things, I decided to get an online store. This is with Square. It is free. And I have just uploaded all of my pictures of my crafts and organized my site how I think it should look. And I need to share my link on my social medias. Okay. really simple. It's super simple, okay? But it's a free website that you could use to market your materials or advertise your services or whatever the case may be. And then over here, this is just a screenshot of my my Square account. This is my dashboard where it has like all of my invoices that I've sent, and you can see all of them are green because they've all been paid. And this is how it will show up on your dashboard if you use Square. Okay. This will be, so you'll have like a paper trail of every single transaction that takes place. Okay. Moving on. Notebooks. Okay, I use notebooks so much. I use them to jot down notes from clients or notes from vendors. Let's say Southwest is doing a deal on flights, which happens quite frequently throughout the year. I will jot that down in my notes. That way, when I go to make a proposal, I know to check Southwest Airlines for their flights. If I'm doing back when there was COVID was really big, I would jot down like restrictions as far as leaving the country, what did you have to do, things of that sort. I've also written down where you can go in the US or even outside the US where you do not have a passport. So where can you go? You can go to Puerto Rico. Okay. You do not have to have a passport for Puerto Rico. And then I also use my notebooks to take notes on the trips. When I'm doing my research and I'm writing down or I'm researching all vendors and the prices for each vendor, I jot everything down in a notebook. That way I can come back to it easily when I'm making my proposal. All right. All right. Next. We're actually almost done here. Okay. Okay, binders. So I use binders to organize the reservation confirmations, but also the credit card authorization forms. Let's say I have a client. This actually really helps with having a client that's making payment plans, and you have to log in, say, to like Apple Vacations to make their payment. So you have their credit card authorization form right there. And then you also have their confirmation number right there. You know, it's easy to find, whatever the case may be. Because you do have to log into their reservation every time and you need to know the reservation number. Okay, to be able to log in, make the payment, send them the credit card authorization form, and bam, you're done. Okay, I tend to have them sign a credit card authorization form every time. They don't necessarily, you definitely don't need to send one, like if they're making payments, you definitely don't need to send one in online to like Archer or anything every time somebody signs a credit card authorization form. You would only do that when you're making a flight booking or something of that sort with Archer. Okay. But I use my binders a couple of different ways. One is keeping them organized as far as the reservations and the credit card authorizations. But also, I use them to keep track of when my clients are traveling. Okay, so I was organizing my bookings based on when the booking was made. Okay, I actually just changed that a few months ago to change it to I organize them now based on when the person is traveling. Okay, so I have one binder of reservation forms that have already been taken and they're back from their trip, or I have another binder that is full of reservations that their trip is still upcoming, so they haven't taken it yet. It's coming within the next year. And then I have a binder started for next year. Okay. When you get into the later months of the year, like September, August, November, even, you may start getting people that are requesting proposals and trips and getting things booked for like the following spring, just because they want to get a head start on it. So if you have clients that are doing this, I would recommend putting it in a separate binder from your original bookings or from your this year bookings. So that way you know that, you know, they're making payments or they're doing this, but, you know, they're not traveling until next year. And then you can switch it all over or switch the binders if you need to. Okay. This definitely helps keep me organized. Do you have any questions as far as how I do my binders? And that is all I have for today. Did anybody have any questions on the presentation at all?